You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Sabres Zone.
Hi, good evening all. Welcome to the Sabres Zone, the video on the channel, if you're new here, that discusses what one of you had to say. And I wanted to get one of these out there because I want to get a few videos out tonight, guys. It's been a while, I know. It's been a crappy month. August was one of the worst months in history on my channel for videos, but you know, I just didn't stop in the building and on this studio also. So I'm glad I did what I did. Time to get back to business. All right, guys, here is the clip. And shout out goes to Brett Donahue, and Brett says, Cale Makar, who has the Calder, Conn Smythe, and Norris trophies to his name, only makes $9 million AAV. So for sure, Dahlin might make 10 plus million AAV. Yeah, I agree with this totally. But it's not unreasonable to think and hope he could make less. I don't think he'll make less than 9. Just if he makes less than 9, he's a great guy. He just is. And yes, Tage is just an awesome person who has an incredible perspective on life with the birth of his son and the fact his wife battled cancer. I'm so glad he's on the Sabres. The thing I wanted to point out about this one, guys, I wanted to talk about the most was I wanted to go over mostly about the contracts. We'll talk a little bit about the contracts, but Dahlin's contract is going to be huge news. I guarantee when I make a video when that comes out, I should say, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge news that we're going to be freaking out about one way or another. I know there's going to be a lot of Buffalo fans that don't care how much he makes, but I'm one of those fans that really cares, because the more money we have in the bank, the more chance we have to win the Stanley Cup eventually. And that's just what I believe. I'm pretty stubborn when it comes to believing stuff like that, because if you manage your money right in this league, you become a champion, you know? And there's a lot of teams that people are trying to compare with us in our division even, that have not been as good as us with the money. Not even close. Not even close as the Sabres have been with the money. The Sabres are, if I was to rank the top teams in the league who will manage their money right, Buffalo will be right up there. Right up there. Yes, and people say they haven't had the results. I would just say yet. You know, it's a simple rebuttal to that. Just say yet. If anybody says anything, poke them in the chest, say yet. Finish your sentence, buddy. You know, like, so what Brett's talking about here is the contract. Will Dahlin sign for under 9? I don't think that's what Brett was saying here, but he said it's not unreasonable to think it's possible. I don't think he'll ever go under 9. I don't think he'll go under 10, to be honest. But that's what you're saying here also. So I'm guessing we're going to look at something like 10.5 maybe, you know. The longer this drags, the more money he's going to make. That's what drives me nuts, you know. And we've got to get this guy locked in long term. And if he holds out and he wants something like 12 or something, guys, that will annoy the hell out of me, okay? That will annoy the hell out of me, because we were patient with his development and we still paid him $6 million when he wasn't worth it. We still gave him money when he really wasn't worth it yet. So, you know, I just hope he's fair about this and does the right about face thing. Guys, I just want to read out my where I'm at so I remember. I am at 60%. I just want to know where my lights are at, guys. So yeah, I do think, Brett, it's not unreasonable. I think 10. I think 10 is going to be the sweet spot, actually. 10 isn't like, I hate to say it, it's not overkill. And it's not like, you know, if he got something like 8.5, okay, and I know he won't, but let's say if he did take something like that, God, the rest of the league would be envious of what we're doing in Buffalo. They'd be so envious so fast. I say, what is it about Kevin Adams that he manages to get all his players on such good discounts, you know? And Makar, let's keep in mind when he signed that contract, right? You know, Makar signed that contract. Guys, it's hot in here. I'm sweating. And it's not the lights either. It's just, it's getting hot out again. I don't know if you guys are getting it out in Buffalo. I just want to check Cap Friendly, guys. I want to check when Makar signed this deal. Because that's important too, right? I mean, at the time, I'm guessing he signed it 2 years ago. That's just a guess, though. So let's just see. Where are they with money? Colorado's like in the red, you see? Paying McKinnon that kind of money just killed any Stanley Cup chances in the future, 12.6. McKinnon's not worth 12.6, guys. He's not worth more than Connor McDavid. I don't care when he signed it. He's not worth it. Yes, they had him on a good deal for a long time, but come on. All right, Cale Makar. Let's check when he signed this. Although, give me Dahlin any day over a 5'11", 187-pound Makar. Any day. I'll take Dahlin any day over this guy. Yeah, he signed. He's 2 full years into his contract. He signed 6 years, $54 million. Okay, so he signed it right after the pandemic, 1920, right during the pandemic, I should say. All right, so the first bubble season, if you want to call it that. So $54 million. I don't know. You know, like it's a pretty good deal. It's a pretty good deal. You know, that's a smart deal, but you know, they kind of botched up that good deal by signing McKinnon 12.6. You don't sign somebody at 12.6 million unless his name's Connor McDavid. That's it. Now, I know Connor makes what, 12 and a half. That was overkill when he signed it, right? So like McDavid has some years left. What's he going to command if he's going to stay in Edmonton? Because this is something that all players are going to be looking at. Once Dahlin signs this, and I know what's going to get Dahlin to sign this, guys. Believe it or not, people are going to say, yeah, the money. No. He wants to know if there's a chance to win the Stanley Cup on this team, right? That's your legacy, too, is important in this league. It is. You don't want to go down in history as one of the greatest players that never won a cup. You know, that would be, for McDavid, that would be brutal if he doesn't win a Stanley Cup in his career. Think about it. So they got to break through in Edmonton, or else he's going to want out of there. And we're in that era now where, okay, well, he wants to get out of there, he wants to get out of here, and he wants to get out of there. And like, we're in that era now, guys, where players kind of just pick and choose where they want to go, it seems, you know. So what Brett talked about here is important because it's our future, guys. It's our future. And we have to get this guy locked in, I believe, at $10 million. I don't know if Dahlin's going to bend and take it. I didn't like the way, guys, you remember how the negotiations went when he got the 6? I didn't like how those negotiations went. And the truth is, as far as I was concerned back then for the current contract, he didn't have much to stand on. Not really. You know, yeah, his numbers were okay. They were, you know. And this is just one good year. And what, we're going to overkill ourselves here? We can't do that. We can't. And if this guy wants, like, let's say 12 and a half or something, I hate to say it, we got to move him. We'll have to move him. We cannot sacrifice a Stanley Cup because one player's greed. We just can't. We have to stick by our principles, guys. I mean that. We do. We have to stick by our principles and set a precedent within our organization that no guy is larger than this logo. That happened once in our history. Jack Eichel. That will never happen again. Rasmus Dahlin, I don't care who it is. That can never happen again to us, folks, ever. Because that was poison. We can't let that happen. So this note here stood out for me because this is the big one. This is the one that kind of dictates our Stanley Cup chances. This is huge. This is the contract that lets Owen Power know, listen, I took a discount, buddy. You should take one too. You know, I left a bid on the table, and so should you if you want to win a Stanley Cup here and be part of this family in this dressing room for the next 10 years of your life. These guys make so much money. Come on. You know, I see people saying, oh, I won't take a penny under 11 and a half. Who are you to say anything? Do you make 11 and a half? How do you know? Like, you know, like people talk like they're millionaires online. Come on. We don't know what it feels like to get 3 million a year, let alone 10. So these guys have to make a decision to leave some on the table if they want to win Stanley Cups. That's what it does come down to eventually. Will Dahlin be one of those guys? I don't know. If you were to ask me, I would say no. No, because I didn't like the way it broke down, guys, last contract. I didn't like the way that broke down. I didn't like the way the negotiations were going. I didn't like that at all. So this time around, maybe it's different. Maybe he's feeling better because the team is showing really good signs now of being a really good team for a very long time to come. Maybe that's, priority on his list too. I don't know. One thing I do know, I thought this would be done by now. Brett, I don't know if you feel that way. I thought this would be closed by now. I thought this would be signed by now. Really. Instead, we're dealing with saying goodbye to RJ. That's life. Eh? Life just does that. It throws curveballs at you. You don't see coming. So, I don't know. We'll have to see how this breaks down. I'm still going to stick with. I think it'll be 10 to 10.5. He might want to make a bit more than Jack Eichel did, just to kind of stick it to Jack. Who knows? Maybe. But I don't know. I think 10 would be fair. 10 million is a lot of money, and the best guy in the league is making a few million more than you. And I'm talking Connor McDavid, not Matthews. And those contracts I count as stupid. The McKinnon and the Matthews, those are just dumb contracts. The McDavid's a necessary contract. Matthews is as necessary as a guy like Connor McDavid. And neither's McKinnon. Not for that price. Not when he said publicly, you remember when McKinnon said that? He's going to take a team-friendly discount? And then he goes and he gets the highest paid contract in history. So we don't want greed, guys. We got to keep greed out of our dressing room if we're going to win a Stanley Cup. My thoughts there. All right, guys, done for this one. One more coming your way.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to ensure Dimension access.